Hello and welcome to the One People Show. Hello and welcome everyone to this week's One People Roundtable show. I have to keep focusing really hard when I say that.
We've set this up ourselves. We set this for failure because we've made fun of it so many times now that now it's like, oh shit.
I second guess it every time I say it.
Right. We should name the show. This is the What the Fuck Show.
Well, this, regardless of what we call it, may well be. Oh wow! Like my eyes just look really weird. The last time that we were on the couch together, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'll give a brief update. So we had our meeting in immigration on Friday. The Department of Immigration we dealt with was a very specific department. It's not like the greater scope of immigration. It was very specific, dealing with bridging visas. The lady who we had was literally phenomenal. She was unbelievably helpful, went out of her way, as you can't imagine a government agent actually doing, to help. When she heard the whole story of actually how everything is played out, she was gobsmacked. Like literally, it's like there were moments where you could see she just wanted to say something. She was just like, no response to that. I can't imagine what the fuck they were thinking. So I think that kind of helped her to just be that much more helpful because she realized just how fucked over we'd been through immigration. Yes, we have to leave Australia. We are getting help to leave Australia, which is like, I may have to leave for a phone call, actually, in the middle of the show. We'll see. The phenomenal thing is that we have no black marks on our record. Absolutely none. She has ensured the fact that there's no black marks. So it basically, if we turned around 2 months from now and went and applied for another visa, there would be no strikes against us on the record. So that is really good news. But it is sad that we'll be back to split screening again, possibly next week. Actually, almost very likely next week we'll be back to the split screen again.
And we will also have to change the show time because otherwise it'll be 2 a.m. for D, which is probably not going to work.
I have an issue with doing a show at 2 o'clock in the morning because I'm not going to say that my conversational skills are intelligent per se, but we at least want me awake.
So that's that.
Yeah,
that's the update on that.
That's the update on that. And thank you. There's a lot of people who really set an amazing intent and really held the space for us. And I honestly think that while a lot of people really wanted us to stay and kind of had the intent that we would be allowed to stay in Australia, the intent of just holding that space for us, I think made a massive difference. Because like I said, everyone we spoke, we went to 2 different offices on Friday, unbelievably helpful people. Like, went out of their way. They were compassionate, they were understanding, and extremely helpful. So
they are leaving, but they're leaving under the best possible circumstances.
Yeah.
In the best possible way. So.
Yes, exactly. So I'm pleased. I'm pleased. And you know what? I don't know. We'll be going to Malta. And for some reason, I'm continuously pulled back to Malta. For 30 years now, I have been pulled back to Malta. So I don't know if there's something I'm supposed to do there or what. For 30 years, it's the one place in the world where I continuously just keep getting pulled back to. Interesting stuff, folks. We'll see. The home of the Knights Malta and the Vatican.
Lots of mysteries in Malta.
Lots of fucking mysteries in Malta. They've just found a new hypogeum underground temple, too. I'm like, oh, really? Mm-hmm. I'll be going to check that out.
So, moving on. We have an amazing man in our Facebook group who I will just mention by first name, Nathan. who apparently is spending 24/7 scouring the Bible looking for Mandela changes. And the latest one to be brought to our attention is there are now aliens in the Bible.
Hebrews 11, verse 14. I just took the Bible and put it.
Go, you got to go get it.
I'll be right back. I'll go get the Bible. I just took it and put it away. I'll be right back.
Now, for me, if there was aliens mentioned in the Bible, there'd be memes. There'd be stuff out there. I've never heard of aliens in the Bible. As an avid X-Files fan, you had Scully, who was actually religious, who was brought up in a religious environment. You can't tell me that there wouldn't have been one conversation between Fox, Mulder, and Scully where the aliens in the Bible weren't discussed.
On Ancient Aliens, you can't tell me that there wouldn't have been a whole show dealing with aliens mentioned in the Bible. I mean, that show ran for like, what, 3 seasons?
This new season of the X-Files, this latest one,
which I haven't seen yet.
It's only got 6 episodes. There is one comment by Fox about the aliens in the Bible, but not in the 9 seasons previous.
Yep.
Not one mention. Look, if anybody out there recalls a mention of aliens in the Bible during the X-Files first 9 seasons, please let me know, because I don't.
Speak now or forever hold your peace, because seriously, I watched the show religiously, and never remember that. Okay.
And this, again, these changes are only King James, to our knowledge.
No. There was a couple.
Oh, was it?
They're starting to bleed through. There's a couple of these changes are starting to bleed through to other editions of the Bible. Not all.
I didn't catch that bit.
But there are a couple. So, Hebrews, hold on.
And it's quite the mention, too. It's not just, I mean, it's an interesting passage.
Hold on, Hebrews. 11, verse, I think it was 34. Yeah. Quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword. Out of the weakness were made strong, waxed valiant in fight, turned to flight the armies of the aliens.
The armies.
The armies
the aliens.
Of the aliens.
You can't tell me if there were mention of armies of aliens in the Bible, not just in passing an alien.
An alien, not just one,
but an army of them.
Fucking armies.
That we wouldn't have heard about it.
There would be memes. I mean, there are people who love creating.
Did it used to say Army of the Angels? I don't know. What do you look it up?
Okay, Hebrews. Someone go find this and look it up. BibleGateway.com has got the best for the multiple versions. Hebrews 11, verse 34. I want to know what it actually, what else does it say? Does it say the heathens? Does it say the angels? Does it say
foreigners?
Does it foreigners? Armies of the foreigners.
Yeah, von Daniken would have jumped on it.
Yeah, von Daniken would have been all over that. Oh yeah, von Daniken would have been.
Apparently, he used to say foreigners.
But Terry Cole. Okay, so they write the Bible and are just rewriting as we go along. Except that we're looking at old versions. So this isn't like new printed versions. We're looking at old physical versions. Now this one that I have here is actually relatively modern. It's 2001, right? But we checked it on the one that Ben has, which is 1967, and it says aliens. It's printed in 1967, and
this
it
is
says
why
aliens.
this is an effect. It's because people have got Bibles that are decades, if not more than 100 years old, in some cases that have been in their family for that long. And they are changed.
Yep.
That's why this is the Mandela effect. It's not a rewriting of history. Now that brings
it's not Google changing the online footprint. It's not Google changing the digital copies. It's people are going and looking at the physical copies of their Bible. The one lady in the Unfuckers room pulled out her grandmother's Bible. It's 70 years old. King James Version, 70 years old. To see that the Lord's Prayer has changed. And she's like, don't tell me. I know that my grandmother used to read us the Lord's Prayer, and it did not say debts, it said trespass. So this is a book that's 70 years old that is physically changed. And again, it's so important to stress that when we talk about Mandela Effect, we're not talking about they've just gone in and changed the name online, or they've just gone in and changed history online. No, we're talking about changes that can be backtracked to show that it has literally been changed in time.
We were thinking of doing another one of those impromptu, you know,
What the fucks?
because prior to
And we are going to do
the
it.
term Mandela Effect, sort of encapsulating all these changes, Dee and I were noticing things, and we had at the time we thought they were just trying to rewrite history. We thought they were in this process of trying to change the history books.
Look at them trying to change history books.
Because we were seeing things, and you guys probably remember if you've been with us that long. This is going back beginning of last year.
March 2015.
We were talking about the Iraq War. We were talking about Mongolia's role in the war. We were talking about you didn't remember the names of the islands. There was these islands.
The Kuril Islands,
Islands.
And Japan's foreign minister and Russia's foreign minister arguing over who owned the Kuril Islands pre-Second World War. And I literally thought, I talked about it on Transpicuous News, I really highlighted and said, like, this is crazy, because I've gone and looked up the treaties that show that Russia owns that section of islands by treaty. Yet the Japanese foreign minister was saying, no, you don't, they're ours. And I thought, again, it was just, they're trying to change history. When Peter Poroshenko tried to change the outcome of Poland in the Second World War, the president of Ukraine, we thought he was just being loopy and being an idiot. Like, how could you say such a fucking ridiculous thing? And say it in such a way like he absolutely believed what he was saying. And we thought it was just propaganda. Now, however,
yeah. And the outcome of certain battles, and all these things were being argued over, and genuinely argued over.
And not just political shit. Now that we look at it, we go, okay, it's not that these guys are trying to rewrite history in their favor, etc. These guys are actually genuinely arguing in a public forum about how certain pieces of history, recent history, actually played out. And then we go, well, wait, maybe it's just literally that's how they remember it, because that's how it played out in their timeline.
What was the Bible verse? I just found my Bible that was given to my mother for me in 1958. It was Hebrews 11:34.
Chapter 11, verse 34.
Yes, the President of the European Union. I've actually got that clip I was going to show you guys.
Yeah.
This is kind of funny.
You got it. I want to see it.
I do. Where did it go?
There it is.
Il faut savoir que ceux qui nous observent de loin sont inquiets. Il faut savoir.
And I will share screen.
Il faut savoir que ceux qui nous observent de loin sont inquiets. J'ai vu et entendu et écouté plusieurs des dirigeants d'autres planètes qui sont très inquiets parce qu'ils s'interrogent sur la voie que l'Union européenne va
And you can look at the confusion even on the people's faces.
Et les Européens et ceux qui nous observent de plus loin.
Really strange choice of words. He doesn't mention other countries. He doesn't.
He specifically says other planets. Now, we need someone who speaks French. Heather, you'll be asleep.
Can someone confirm that what he's...
Can somebody confirm the translation, or if they can even get someone to transcribe it fully into English, so we know for a fact. Now, here's that. What about the space disclosure? Obama's thing, the disclosure, we talked about this 2-3 weeks ago, the official thing about our allies in space.
A Facebook friend
speaks French.
She says he said planets.
There you go.
Play it again?
Yeah, play it again. Play it again, folks. Okay. Play it again, Sam.
Okay.
Yet another. Mandela Effect. Something that was never said.
Where'd it go?
Yep.
Il faut savoir que ceux qui nous observent de loin sont inquiets. J'ai vu et entendu et écouté plusieurs des dirigeants d'autres planètes qui sont très inquiets parce qu'ils s'interrogent sur la voie que l'Union européenne va poursuivre. Et donc, il faut rassurer et les Européens et ceux qui nous observent de plus loin.
I don't really think you can get much more blatant than that. Like, really, I mean, can you say
it's just odd?
Can you misinterpret, like the whole thing with Obama's statement about from June 16th, I think, about space, and it was an official statement from the White House. We talked about it 3 shows ago, saying our allies in space, and we talked about, okay, there's no comma, it doesn't our allies, comma, in space, but our allies in space, and we talked about how it's kind of like, oh, isn't that interesting how they've worded that? It can kind of be taken 2 different ways. Yeah, no, you can't take that another way. Jonquière is pretty straightforward.
Susie just checked her Bible, and yes, it does say armies of the aliens.
And Susie, sorry, when did you say, 1954, that
58.
one? 58. And you know what? Graham Hayward said Bluebeam, right? Absolutely. I've been talking about Project Bluebeam for years. Is this that subtle disclosure to set up Project Bluebeam from being carried out? We have, mysterious cities appearing in the sky over Nigeria, China, Los Angeles, London, apparently. Is this the practice run? Or is there actually something more to this? And it kind of fits into my theory of what I was talking about earlier today before we went on.
Well, I was going to get into that, but not yet.
Okay.
I've got a couple of things I want to lead into that.
Good. Lead in. Lead away. This couch is kind of uncomfortable. Sorry.
So,
we're on a new couch, guys. Our asses haven't quite found their spot yet.
No. The moon. This came up on the last sort of 2 to 3 collective imagination shows that we did as well. And we talked about the whole idea of a grid, of a network. And I keep going back to that vision that I had back in 2011 that kicked me off on all of my moon stuff to start with. And for those who haven't read it, it is available on my website. If you go to lisamharrison.com and then go to downloads, there's a book there called Penetration by Ingo Swann. Super interesting book if you haven't read it.
It's on your website, right?
Yep.
Good.
And
lisamharrison.com.
I did say that.
Did you?
Where are you?
I can't fucking hear today.
I did just say under downloads on my website, lisamharrison.com.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
The whole thing. And so David Icke, for those of you who listen to David, he talks about the moon this way as well. Barbara Marciniak, I've actually got a quote from Barbara from the book Earth. And it says, "The moon is a satellite that was constructed. It was built and anchored outside Earth's atmosphere as a mediating and monitoring device, a supercomputer or eye in the sky. It affects all life forms on this planet beyond what you can currently grasp. In your history, there are references to 2 moons around Earth. Earth must be owned by those who dwell here. However, it is not. You have outsider gods, creator energies who prevent you as a species from having free reign with your kundalini. The influence of the moon as a main satellite computer affects all of Earth. There have been many, many battles over the moon. Parts of the moon are owned and parts are utilized. There is a plan to gradually insert different programs of influence on Earth when the moon becomes occupied by forces that would assist you in your growth, rather than limit you. The moon's programs are for eons, have been of great limitation toward human beings. The tales about the full moon and insanity, madness, and heightened bleeding are all quite true. There are repetitive cycles that the moon creates to which you respond. You know that television influences you to a great degree. The moon is the same thing, is the same way. You simply have not been able to tune into the moon's programs and learn how to turn them off. You cannot. Others must turn the moon off for you or reprogram the moon, which is taking place right now. At this time, the moon is quite controlled. Extraterrestrials and others have many bases on the moon, and those from Earth have little influence when it comes down to it. Now, there's a little bit of a savior moon thing going on there, but
Yeah, well,
in terms of we don't have the power to tune into it and affect it. I don't believe that. Because the vision that I had back in 2011 showed me that we can do exactly that.
okay.
I'm reading from Barbara Marciniak's book called Earth. Now, channeled material, you know, take it with a grain of salt, whatever.
Take what kernels comes with it, right?
Yeah.
The seeds that come.
But it's even the way she called it, a mediating and monitoring device, totally fit in with that vision I had back then too, because what I saw was that it was a two-way system. It feeds information into the grid, into this collective grid, as well as monitors and reads the collective. I just thought that was interesting that came back into my awareness, as well as David. I was reminded again of David Icke's stuff about the moon, all kind of coming back in a 24-hour period at around the time when I'm totally focused on how to live day to day with the concept that this is a virtual hologram or a virtual reality. Just playing with the idea of, if that's what this really is, how does that change how I get through the day? How does that change how I live? How does that change where my attention goes, how I relate to people, to the planet around,
incidents,
to nature, to everything. That's where my head's been of late. And I'm once again reminded of the moon. And I know that this is a place that many people are in right now. I know personally of this. How does this change the way I live? If this is a game,
and does it
change the way I live? Does it change the way what I put my energy into, what my goals are, what my dreams are, what my intention is? Does it change any of that? So the conversation that what's happening this morning was if this is a game, if this is like, you know, we've all got our own version of an Xbox and we're all playing Lara Croft, has a new version been released? You know, and some people are still playing on version 4, others are playing on version 5, and some have got the latest version 6. And we're all trying to play the same game, but different versions of.
So when I got into this a huge conversation this morning, if you don't know, the rocket ship Juno is going to implant itself into Jupiter's orbit in about 45 minutes from now. It's a big deal, the rocket ship. And I'm not even going to go into that because literally so much questions. But we were talking, that leads us to the whole question of looking at truth, reality, facts, etc. And the one thing I said is what keeps striking me as we have the conversation about the moon. We have different theories come up, and we sit in this, like on the show, and we discuss the theories, and we poke holes, you look, you bring out the pieces, how feasible is it, how real is it, can we gel with the ideas of some of the things that people bring up. And we look at how some of them, each one may have really strong points that you go, fuck, you can't really argue with that. And yet another theory can come along that completely contradicts. And yet those points are really, really fucking strong. So the example I used was the moon. We've all seen the videos that prove to a lot of people that we never landed on the moon. The Apollo missions never got to the moon. They've never been outside of our upper atmosphere, so to speak, the Van Allen. NASA admitting that they still can't get through the Van Allen belt, the radiation, etc. We've seen it, and we've all watched them and gone, fuck, this is all fucking bullshit, green screen work and really bad CGI. That's what the moon landing was. So you have that. Then we have, and I went deeply down this rabbit hole in 2011, all the stuff outing the pictures on the moon, of buildings on the moon, vehicles on the moon. The stories of the fact that NASA went to the moon and were told in no uncertain terms by the people who were already there to get the fuck out. And that's why they never went back. Then we also have the other theories of like there being a constructed moon, there being a natural moon, there being two moons, there being the time before the moon.
Yeah, I don't recall ever hearing of a time of two moons.
I haven't just really like
the time before the moon, yes, but not
very kind of a long time ago. It was something I can remember reading a few things about it, but not something I've read anything on recently. But each of these pieces brings really good points to the table that are very believable, and you can sit there and go, that sounds reasonable. Go into the whole thing, like we said, flat Earth, globe Earth. And you have people on both sides who've got really fucking good points, and you can look and you can see the pieces and how they hold together. And yet there can't be a globe, and yet there can't be a flat Earth if they both are. But what I looked at was, again, the 13th floor, the movie The 13th Floor, the movie Inception, where it's a simulation within a simulation within a simulation. And then that was the analogy I made about a video game. And I used the analogy of Skyrim because that's the one that Nick used to play. And if all three of us are playing Skyrim online, but Lisa's playing on the first version. Oh, no, you're on the most modern version. That's right. Lisa's on the most modern version. She's got the most high-tech stuff. And I'm on the first version. Nick's on the second version. Lisa's playing the third version. It's the same planet. And I might say, we might be talking online as we're playing and saying, okay, you got to go into this cave. If you go into this cave, you're going to find these gauntlets, and these gauntlets will give you the power to, I don't know, punch hard. And Lisa goes into the cave and goes, there's no fucking gauntlets here, but there's some boots. Nick goes into the cave and goes, I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. I've just found a helmet. It's the same world. It's the same premise, but it's different versions. And I'm beginning to really, really feel that all these versions we're hearing about are actually true. There is a flat Earth. There is a globe Earth. There is a totally self-contained a la Truman Show Earth that is like the Petri dish with the ice wall around it with the big fucking lid over the top that no one can get in or out of. There's also an Earth that's in the Orion's belt or Orion system, not the Pleiades system. And that all of a sudden, each of these simulations, it's like the computer code's breaking down and they're all bleeding into each other. So we're getting the facts and pieces, and that's why you get some people who are absolutely adamant about the Orion thing.
I'm wondering whether it's going the other way. So go back for a second to say Dolores Cannon's split Earth concept.
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
So we were in a situation where we were all on the same version.
Mm-hmm.
We were all playing the same version of this game. But we're at a time right now where we're stepping into a real space of being creative beings, perhaps, or not stepping into it, but the limitations are being removed.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas we're starting, what we're calling new versions is us stepping into creating our own realities more, so to speak, and what we're seeing is a splitting. So we're seeing those who, am I saying this right? Am I explaining this properly? All I'm seeing is Dolores's version of split Earths. There's multiple, perhaps, not just two. And this is the big separation. This is the big...
But to me, that doesn't explain the fact of, like, I have specific memories from back then.
No, but that's
way back then. But now I've got different memories now. But then I've also got double memories. So for certain things, I've got double memories.
You've still got what we talked about, the...
No,
what are you calling? What do we call it?
The organic Earth.
No.
The prime.
No. The shit. What the guy that we played his clip a couple of weeks ago, where he talked about
D-Wave.
No, we are the center of our own universe, and we have where these areas overlap, right?
Quantum entanglement.
Quantum entanglement. So let's say we all were playing the same version, right? We all had consistent memories and a consistent agreed upon reality.
Okay.
Right? But imagine that's all starting to split off, right? Now, we all can still have memories of this, but as these things are separating, they're still quantum entangled for now, right? So I might be able to relate to and remember some of the things agreed upon in your reality, but I've also got my own version right now too.
Mm-hmm.
I can see your perspective, but I got mine. Or
for me, that just doesn't, because it. Why? Fucking English language sucks for these conversations. Why, for example, if we had this base point, let's say we started at point 0, right? And we're splitting off into these other entangled realities. So why would somebody choose to create a flat Earth? Or why would somebody choose to create a concave Earth? Or the inside-out Earth, which is
you don't
the
have
other
to
one, the inside.
Understand it?
But that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying to it is why would that version of reality move forward into that direction?
Why would this version of reality have gotten to this point?
I totally hear you. I agree. For me, I have no words. It's the unanswerable question at this point. One of the things that just keeps striking to me over and over, every time we deal with this Mandela Effect, is the passion with which people hold to what they remember. And some stuff is, like I said, like Sex and the City, Sex and the City, no one fucking cares. Really, don't care. But stuff that's foundational to things that we remember, i.e. JFK's assassination, the Lord's Prayer, the beginning of the Iraq War, and Mongolia invading Iraq. Hello. These are kind of things that are so kind of major. The flat Earth and the various versions of flat Earth even. There are people who are so adamant, and I don't think it is just people being caught up in their own belief system. I really don't. I like to give people more credit than that. It's not just that they're blinded by their programming. When I see people that believe so strongly in something, I have to ask where that comes from, and what if their reality actually is real, and that's just the split, the version that they're playing on. We keep coming up with the shit with, like, for example, the planet having moved from the Pleiades. Now we're looking at, like, someone put a really interesting video together with the supposition that we have now moved 80,000 light years and that we're now in the Orion system, i.e. we were in the outer arm of the butt-fuck nowhere corner of the galaxy, and now we're somewhere in the middle. But then we look and we go, okay, all of a sudden we've got all the fucking Earth doesn't look anything like it did. Even on Google satellite images, Europe is fucked up, Morocco is fucked up, Australia is fucked. Everywhere is all changed, subtle differences. We have a second moon getting discovered. Oh, we discovered a second moon, but we've known about it for 100 years, kind of. No, not really. They've just discovered a new galaxy that's floating around our galaxy. It's the 4th biggest galaxy that we know of, scientifically, and yet we only just discovered it. We just never noticed it before, really. Maybe last year, when NASA releases the information that the stars, major star patterns, have changed their orbits by like 40% of the stars have changed their orbits suddenly. But wait, this all says to me that we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto, right? And yet, what if it's just the Petri dish with the dome over it that we can't escape, with the ice wall around it? How does that play into the fact of everything's fucking changed? And that's why I go back and say, what if all these realities are real? They're just the different versions. And their quantum entanglement is they're touching each other. And they're now, whereas we're connecting, maybe is that one of the things of as we as humans are deeply connecting with people, and we've talked about it on this show a lot, and we've come together in communities and people have really connected in a way that they've never had the ability to do before. is that the quantum entanglement field that is really bringing it out as people connect more and more strongly with other people. The entanglement of the field is the blueprint.
Okay, I think a couple of synapses in my brain just fried.
I'm sorry, do you want more coffee? I can go make coffee if you want. Actually, I made lots of coffee. It just needs to be warmed up.
No.
And the problem is the English language is not. I know. I firmly believe the English language was. We know the English language was deliberately designed. It is a language of science. It is a language of religion in a lot of ways. It was deliberately designed to not have these words in it. There are just words in our language that cannot be used to describe the thoughts that we have.
How do we explain the stuff that's going on with us physically? Okay.
And that's another whole area of this.
It's a whole other
That
thing.
was another whole fucking. Okay, exactly. Something happened this weekend. On weekend, I mean, let's call it the last 72 hours. 48 to 72 hours. Something happened. Again. And there's a whole lot of people who felt it. Who were like, oh my God, I had massive headaches. I felt sick. I couldn't sleep. Or all I did was sleep. Nick was out of it all day yesterday. My little dude, he is walking a thin line. And some of it is the fact that we've got a move coming up. We've already prepared him for the fact that we will be leaving and moving. But there was shit that happened. Like last night, he came into my room, hysterical crying, saying, Mommy, I'm so afraid. And I'm like, baby, what are you afraid of? He was like, he could not tell me what it was. It wasn't a movie he saw. It wasn't a thing he saw. He could not tell me, but the child shook. He was so afraid, he was shaking. And he was literally on the verge of hysteria. Now, this is my little dude I call my barometer. When shit happens energetically, he's like my human barometer. You can just watch his actions and you know when shit's really getting fucking strange. What happened? The whole thing we talked about. How come I'm 10 years older all of a sudden? Or 3 years younger? Or 2 inches shorter?
Really?
Moosh and I hadn't thought about this until this morning. My friend Moosh, it used to be the joke. We were wearing the same running shoes all the time. And there were days when I was the tall one, and there were days when she was the tall one. And we used to joke in Malta 2 years ago. We used to joke about the fact, like, okay, who's going to be the tallest today? And we'd stand up and look, and literally, and even Nick would see it. There were times where I was that little bit taller than her. There were times that she was taller than me, and there were times where she was significantly shorter. And you and I have talked about it. And Ocean, well, I'm like, you technically, Lisa and I are pretty much the same height. There were times when I would hug you, and I'd be like this much taller than you. And vice versa. The next time I'd hug you, we'd be like eye to eye, perfect. How do you explain that shit? It's not my spine stretching. I know this.
So what's today? Today is Tuesday morning.
Lane just said it. I want to bring this up because we had an email.
Oh, yeah.
I got to talk about this, and we asked her to be on today, and I don't know if she's with us or not. Because she'd watched the show and she watched the video. She sent Lisa an email. And she was like, oh my God. Not only the whole thing of waking up and looking older, she says, I have a dent in my forehead. And she says, I have a pock mark. It looks like a chicken pox scar on my forehead. My husband remembers me having it my entire life. She says, I know I didn't have it there. And you may remember, it was back in January. I was like, I have a fucking dent, and I still have it. There's a fucking dent in my forehead right here. I have no idea where it came from. It was not fucking there. One day, I just went to you're washing your face, and you go, what the fuck is that? There's a fucking dent in my forehead. And I have a little tiny, what looks like a chicken pox scar.
I've never noticed that.
That is a broken blood vessel that appeared out of nowhere, out of fucking nowhere. No idea how it got there.
That happened to his girlfriend last year. She got a big dent appearing her head out of nowhere.
Okay.
Faces changed. Yep.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you another one. I have a huge dent in my skull. It's been an ongoing joke. When I was in the military and I had my head completely shaved, like shaved, like G.I. Jane shape. We used to joke about it because I have a massive dent in the back of my skull right here. And you can feel it. It's about about a centimeter and a half deep. And when my head shaved, oh, you can see the fucking dent. My mother swears I never had a dent. And I noticed that dent suddenly when I was about 24 years old. Now, how can you not notice a dent the size of a fucking crater in your skull until you're 24 years old? And I never even thought about that until we had this conversation with her about the dents here. I was like, wait, yeah. My mom swears. She said, you don't have a dent in your head. And I made my mom. I said, look, feel this. And she was like, what the fuck is that? Well, she didn't say what the fuck, but she was like, what is that? You did not have that. What did you do to your head? I'm like, I didn't do nothing to my head. I have a massive dent.
But this email that we got, the woman
yes,
had...
Violet. Mm-hmm.
What?
Well, it's very uncomfortable. My face actually feels a different shape when I rub it. Yes. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Oh, yeah. USB connection point. Thanks, Philip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they plugged me in, right there.
The woman had exactly the same story. That pockmark on her forehead had just appeared, as far as she was concerned. But according to her husband, it had been there the entire time he'd known her, which was 10 years.
Yep.
And her mother also had one. And Dee's mother also has one.
My mother also has a pockmark. It's a chicken pox. My mom always talks about it. It's a chicken pox scar. It's the only one she has. It's right on her forehead. It's in the exact same spot where mine is. I had chicken pox when I was 2. I do not have any chicken pox scars on my forehead. Yet suddenly I have a chicken pox scar on my forehead. And it's a hole. Like, it's typical. If you have chicken pox scars, you know what I'm talking about. Where it's like a little teeny hole from the pockmark.
There are so many things that are different about my body and my face that I don't even know. I don't even recognize myself. But everyone that people are messaging me, and we're all going through the same stuff. It's lower body, it's the hips, the lower back, right through down into the knees.
And shoulders and neck.
And I actually thought I was having a heart attack 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I was this close to going to the hospital. And just weird shit. And yesterday, energetically, I was not. It was just a weird day. I was not in my body. I didn't know who the hell I was. I didn't know where I was.
Nick's explanation of yesterday, he lost 25 IQ points. He had lost all muscle coordination. You should have seen him in the room trying to swing poi. It was hysterical. He threw the poi at me so many times I finally made him put them down. And he said,
yes,
I can't be around people.
Yeah.
I can't be, Nick just kept leaving. He was like, I can't be around anyone. I have no idea what, it's like freaking him out. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. He says, I feel stupid. Like, my brain is not, it's like when you're playing a video game and you've got time lag. Then he says, that's what's going on in his head yesterday. He was like, everything was on time lag.
Yep. Mood swings, depression.
Yep. Scars in the corner of her eye, the corner of the eyes. Yeah.
Now, so I try to play devil's advocate a little bit. And I go, okay, so has everybody always experienced shit like this? But because we haven't had avenues like the internet to connect and talk to each other
and go, oh yeah, me too.
Have we all just done it alone and just thought it was us? But now that we're sharing our stories, you know, does it feel like it's happening en masse? But it's always been happening en masse. We just kind of kept it to ourselves. Is that the case? It doesn't feel like it, because, or am I just hanging around with people who are all within my same age group, and we're all going through some kind of,
going through menopause, losing our fucking mind?
Yeah.
No.
That's not the case. I know that, because there are people who are in their 20s listening to this. There are people who are in their 60s and 70s listening to this. Yeah. And communicating and sharing their stories. So I know it's not age-related.
For me, on the physical side of it, I have bad knees. I've broken one knee, and I have done a lot of damage to my knees in sporting accidents my entire life. I have bad hands for the same reason. I've broken all my fingers, my wrists, etc. I've never had a problem with my shoulders, ever. In the last year, I have continuous problems with my shoulders. There's no reason for it. It's not like I took up playing baseball and I'm pitching. There's no reason for it. Nick, who works out 5 days a week and has incredible strength in the upper body strength, is crippled with his shoulders hurting right now. And shoulders, for example, is one of the things I've had multiple people say to me. All of a sudden, my shoulders are fucked, and I don't know, for no reason. They can't say, I was in a car accident, I fell down, I threw a baseball too hard. There's no reason for it. So when those things all come up, I take note. I had, after the last video, I got 12 different messages from people saying, my eyes have quit in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, someone just meant
blind.
Eyes changing from hour to hour. A 13-year-old even mentioning that he just feels wonky. He doesn't feel right.
Yeah, that's Logan. Logan just keeps saying, Mummy, there's something wrong.
And that's the other thing. Some people are feeling amazing and never felt better.
Yep.
They look 10 years younger.
Yep.
They feel incredible. I'd like to be on that timeline.
Can I be on that team for a while? No,
and shoulders are big. Shoulders are
really, one of the major. This is why I'm saying we all damage our knees because we walk. We anything that you do along those lines, knees, hips, ankles are kind of one of those things that everyone kind of ends up having bad days with, for the most part. Very few of us actually do things that overly affect our shoulders. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not in the industries where we're doing heavy lifting where you might hurt your shoulder, things like that. Everyone's complaining about shoulders right now, and no one knows why. There's no reason. Like, no one that I've spoken to can pinpoint a single incident of why their shoulders fucking hurt.
It's the intensity of these things that are blowing me away, because I'll go from feeling absolutely fine, and like I was the other night, lying in bed, feeling perfectly fine.
Yep. To, oh my God.
In the course of about 20 seconds, I'm in agony with what feels like 80-year-old arthritic knees. Yep. And I can barely move. And then it'll last for a few hours, and then it's gone.
As fast as it appears, it disappears.
And I was like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
I don't.
And it is the kids too.
And it is the kids too.
It is the kids too. Fifi and Kira have both been complaining all week about sore ankles.
Yeah, right.
And sore knees. And Fee came to me the other day. She's got a sore knee. She's like, my knee really hurts. I was like, baby, I wish I had a response for you. I can give you a hot water bottle. That's about it. The children are being.
Can you hear that?
The grumble?
No. The high-pitched tone thing. That just hit me right then.
No.
Oh, dear.
Not anything out of the normal. The high-pitched tone thing. The same thing. For the last 2 mornings, I have woken up in the middle of the night with the tones so fucking loud that they woke me up. And it's a new tone. The one that's for the last 2 days, it is a new tone. I've never heard it before. I've not heard that note. I've not heard that timbre. What have we got? We'll put something on.
I'm just getting it ready because I didn't want to forget it while we.
Okay. The tones is another one. And people talk about, could it be, for example, someone just said frequencies. ULFs, ELFs being sent out by HARP, by CERN, whatever. Now, here's the thing, though. I've heard tones for most of my life, but there are tones that you hear, what I call, you hear them in your head, i.e. you can cover your ears, it doesn't change it. It's not external. And for me, I can hear them what I call directionally, which is I can close my eyes and say, I can identify a tone and say, I hear it here. I hear this tone, this ear, and I can hear it directionally, and I can point to exactly what direction my ear is hearing that tone from. And like I said, the new tone is a completely different direction, completely different tone, completely different timbre. Oh, really? Hold on.
What?
Like, just someone down here. Sophie was saying,
my husband is screaming in his sleep. It's really creepy.
Well, and that's kind of like what Logan was going
if you're
through.
asking me, Dawn, it just hit both. It was on both ears.
See, and I didn't hear it at all. I didn't hear any change of tone at all. And that's when I say, when one person hears it and the other person doesn't, is that internal or external? Because if it was external, I should have heard it as well, but I'm not hearing it.
What is a sandbox MMO? No, I don't know what you're talking
You
about.
know what sandbox MMO is? Never heard of it.
I meant to show this earlier when we were talking about the moon.
Yeah, Lana, I agree. It's like we check in, check out, we respawn, and then we wake up again. Yeah, I'd like to respawn in a body that doesn't have smashed up knees and or a dent in the head.
Now, some of you probably have seen Crow 777's videos before.
Yeah,
this is not one
moon.
he took. It was one that was sent to him, but he feels it's pretty spot on. The moon, what does he call it? The ripples.
Ripples.
So here's a recent one that was taken.
Is this on
now I want you to
screen share?
I want you to focus on the bottom right hand side and watch. Now this was taken with a very relatively small telescope and filmed with an iPhone.
This is an amateur. This is not NASA, Soho, any of those bastards. This is a guy doing this himself. I think it just paused. I think it just stopped. I don't know why.
Interesting.
It's not playing. Why is it not playing?
Why is it not playing? Why are you not playing?
Maybe restart it? Because it's not.
It just doesn't want to move. That's really interesting.
Okay. The video just decided it doesn't want to play for us.
Hang on
But
a
it's
second.
interesting. We'll try that again.
We will try that.
Take two. Continue playback. Yeah. There we go. It's playing now, so we got to stop it and then.
Nope.
What the hell just happened? As soon as you go to screen share, it's not playing.
This is weird.
It was just playing. Someone's video camera's coming on.
I don't get it. Anyway.
Sorry guys. Anyways, you see literally in
It's stuck.
this amateur video done through a telescope, filmed with an iPhone, a close-up of the moon, and you can see a ripple. Literally, it's like as if someone dropped something in the water and you get a ripple through it. Literally a ripple going straight through it. Is it crashed? No.
It's all right. I will try it again with something else.
All right, welcome. Embedded is real wave corner. You will see clouds pass between us and the wave, left to right.
Oh, come on.
And there's a few clouds. All right, watch it as it goes into the upper left corner. You will see clouds pass between us and the wave, left to right. And there's a few clouds, and here come a few more. Very interesting. Here comes the second wave down.
Okay, we will, when we post this video, we will also post this video so you can actually see it, because apparently
So this really demonstrates what people can achieve. Left here. Let's watch the clouds pass from left to right as I zoom.
Okay.
do you have a third option of media player? I don't know.
That played perfectly before I tried to share it with you.
Multiple times we watched it.
Yes. Did you guys get to see any of that? Did you see the ripple at all?
Oh, interesting, Philip.
Yeah.
Philip wrote, has anyone had a tilting dream over the last week? I had one where my building tilted away from me like the earth had moved off its axis by 15 degrees. I found another in the US who's had the same.
I can confirm, yes, yes. I have heard one story of that very thing.
Everything all tilted?
Yep, everything was going like that.
Well, I had, as I said to Lisa, I had the strangest thing 2 nights ago with dreams. A night of very, very dreamy, lots and lots of stuff going on all night long. And when you take those moments to take stock of your dream, even within the dream, when you're like, okay, I got to remember this, okay, I got to remember this, the dream was erasing itself as I was dreaming it. So I woke up in the morning knowing that significant stuff had happened, and not a single inkling of even the topic of what I saw, what I experienced, nothing. It was the only, I've never experienced it before, where you do it when you wake up in the morning, and the moment you open your eyes, everything kind of erases, or within 5 minutes of being up, it all kind of erases. No, this was, as I was dreaming it, it was erasing itself as I was dreaming, like someone was running along behind me with a magnet going, erase the hard drive.
So someone else dreamt that they were in a tilting building as well. What is that about then?
Well, you know, I have my theory the whole planet's changed its tilt. I don't know.
Someone else had a friend happened to her during the day while she was awake, and she had to hold onto a car because she felt like everything was shifting.
Well, now you and I have experienced that multiple times. Where we're like, whoa, the whole planet's going. Hold on.
Yeah, you're going sideways. We just, yeah, that's what we call it, going sideways.
Yeah, going sideways. The Earth just went sideways. Yeah, fuck, that's been a couple of years of that.
Someone else, yes, I had a tilting dream in an apartment, not an earthquake, but a tilting experience, and also a tsunami coming. I then lifted out of my body and landed back here. So what is, how come we all have
tsunami dreams?
Oh,
over the last year, when we've discussed it multiple times, of people dreaming of giant tsunamis coming. And a good portion of the dreams, they're not doing that like, you know, this is a Hollywood movie, everyone run to the hills. Ah! It's not like that at all. No. People are relatively calm. They see the tsunami and it's a very calm kind of thing. The whole tilting thing, strange.
And going back to that, what we were saying the other week, about that, it feels like this huge energetic tsunami that's sort of building, building, and it's like, it's good, and then it's gone. And then it starts to build again, and then it's gone. And whenever it goes, it does, everything feels different. There's this energetic shift that sometimes it feels really positive, sometimes it just feels flat, kind of
disappointing, like almost like, oh, well, that was not what I expected.
Anticlimactic.
Anticlimactic, there's the word.
No, yes. That too, I would say. But what
it just wasn't real. Like it wasn't what you expected.
No, everything feels still.
Yep.
By comparison. Paused. Yeah.
Everything pauses. It's like,
yep.
Are we going to pause again? How many times have we said that over the last year? It's like, I think we just paused again, because all of a sudden everything feels very still. Very. The intake of breath, the moment when you take the big breath in and you're about to exhale, there's that pause. Yeah.
Yeah, waiting for the other shoe to drop, and then it doesn't.
Okay, and Lane, that's what I was just going to say, and none of it is real, and that's when you go back to the whole thing. Step back and go, okay, wait. If it's all a hologram, if it's all a simulation, it's all hologram. If it's all an inception simulation within a simulation within a simulation, and you get the comment like Elon Musk. And he actually addresses exactly that, of a simulation of making a simulation. So what is that? Is it just as simple? Okay, I'm going to be really, really horrible. Is it as simple as too much power going through, like a power surge? All of a sudden we'll go, ooh, if you're just a simulation, if you're just a holographic, if you're just the holographic, no, I'm not going to go there.
The holographic image of ISIS.
Yes, I went there. I'm sorry. I stopped. You're the one who continued on. Sorry. Inside joke. Is that what we feel sometimes with these surges? Is it's like waves, or the whole thing of, like, you know, the deja vu thing in the Matrix, where someone's changed something in the programming and it's like a deja vu? Is there a physical sensation with it when someone changes, the programming gets changed somewhere? Is that the physical sensations we are feeling, is changes in the programming?
Well, you know what I just came to mind then? In the Matrix movie, when, what's her name?
Trinity.
needs to fly a helicopter,
Yeah.
right? She just downloads the information on how to fly a helicopter. And I do believe we can do that. There have been, oh God, I don't know how many years ago I read about this, but there were people who, there was one guy in particular that always stood out for me. He could paint 2 different paintings in the style of 2 different artists.
Painters, yeah.
Yeah. So he could do a Michelangelo and a Monet at the same time with different hands. I think he was in Brazil. And he said all he was doing was tapping into the consciousness field of that individual, and he was able to do. So it's like the memory, the consciousness, everything is there for all of us to tap into. Right? He had a very spiritual approach to what he was trying to explain, right? But what if we just put it into computer terminology and say the program is there, and we have the ability to tap into that program?
You can tap into the program.
And just the way Neo does. When he's, it's like you can tap into, say, Bruce Lee and be a martial arts expert just like that. You can tap into it. They're all just programs that are all available to us. Why not? And there have been people throughout history who have done this sort of shit, and they've put it down to totally a spiritual perspective.
Who was it? Well, because when we look at that, it is a different factor. Who was it who wrote to us about all of a sudden being able to play the drums?
Oh, that was the woman we were wanting to have on the show today, wasn't it? Or was it someone else?
I think it was someone else.
Okay, so a woman who lives with a musician, her husband's a musician. She has always wanted to play the drums, but could never do it. Gets up one morning, and not only can she play the drums, she can play them really fucking well.
Yeah, like play the drums. Not just dum, dum, dum.
So, and now she's jamming. Her and her husband are jamming together, and it's Lainey. Is it Lane? She's here. It's Lane. Was that you?
Okay, Lane. Okay. Awesome.
Can you please come out, sweetie, and share some of your stories, because this is. No, you haven't got to put your camera.
Put your camera on if you don't want.
Just put your microphone on.
I'm in my jammies too, so don't worry about it. You just can't see me, but I have my jammies. That's it.
Just unmute yourself, sweetie. Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. You're just talking to us. Don't worry about it.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
We're good. We're good.
Yeah, I couldn't play the drums one day, and the next day I could really play the drums. And it blew everyone in the house away. I had absolutely no ability the day before, none. And the next day I got up and something said, go and sit at the drums and pick up the sticks. So I did. And I'm playing like a mofo, just like that.
So was there anything in the time between day 1 and day 2 that you remember? Any sensations? Did you have any like weird dreams? Did you have any physical, like, all of a sudden you had a headache or something bizarre?
It ties in with my partner and I. This is really weird. We'd been doing a zeolite detox. We'd been doing a cleanse, the shit that you do every winter. And we'd been feeling really good. And I got up that morning and I went out for my cup of tea, and I said to my partner, I said, is it just me? Does everything just look different today? Everything looked different, because we talk about this shit. And he said, yeah, it's like everything's clearer. It's like this clarity, and it wasn't there. We said, maybe it's the zeolite, maybe we've dislodged mercury from our brains. I don't know. But we got on with our day. I then went and sat at the drums, picked up the sticks and thought, have I got the patience? Because I have zero patience. Ask my mother, she's in the chat room. I'm shocking. I picked up the sticks and I could just play. And my partner looked at me and he's like, holy shit. And he said, can you do a 16th beat? And I knew what that meant. And I did it. And he said, can you do an offbeat? And I did it. You do syncopated bass. And I did it. And I'm doing...
Not easy.
I just did it. And I'm laughing and crying, and he's just going, holy shit. So he plugged in his bass and off we went. Now I can play the drums. I mean, I'm no John Bonham, but I can play the drums.
When did
Really
this happen exactly?
Okay.
About, I did actually go back. It would have been, January 2015. That was the time when all sorts of crazy shit happened. It's also a time where I noticed changes in my body. I changed. I was a different person. I had knowledge. I had things come to me that I didn't have before. I felt different. People around me seemed different. I felt foreign. I can't explain it. Same stuff that you guys talk about all the time. Yeah, I can still play them. I'm watching the
15, when we all went, everything just changed. 2017 became 2015 suddenly.
Everything went weird. I don't know. I can't explain it. All I can tell you is I've got people who can vouch for all of this. It's not me just talking shit and making it up.
What physical stuff did you notice at the same time?
Was that
what was that?
Appeared?
Sorry, I missed that. It's cutting out on me.
Is that when the dent appeared in your forehead?
The dent actually isn't quite in my forehead, Danny. It's on the side of my face. My mum's was in a forehead. I think you misread my email.
Mine, I can't read anymore.
On the side of my face. Yeah, it would have been around about the same time. Funny thing is, I'm only really piecing all this together in the last few weeks. There has been so much shit, so much, and it's starting to make sense for me now, and that's why I'm sharing this. That's why I'm doing this, because I wouldn't normally do this.
Have the changes been permanent? So you can still play the drums, the physical things you noticed are still there?
Yep, still there. Yeah, definitely still there. I've just practiced and gotten better. So I had a basis to work with. It's like it didn't all, it's not like I'm some virtuoso genius, but I had the foundations there to grow upon very, very quickly. And so now, I mean, it's like I wish this happened 20 years ago. I'm 40 now. No one wants an old bloody aging rock chick drummer anymore. So, but I still play.
Okay, I have to go.
When I was 20, I could have had a different life. God damn it.
No, you don't want to get into the musical scene anyways. Trust me. I've been there, done that. Hold on.
My partner's
How come I can't please? Is there a...
Anyway.
Rock
chick drummer. Yeah. I also dyed my hair purple. So, something weird happened.
Oh, well, you know what? It's really close because I was actually going to dye my hair purple.
You do it.
Before I cut it, I was going to do like the dip dye and dip dye the bottom half of my hair like neon.
Oh, that would look great.
And then I was like, no, I had an opportunity to get my hair cut, so I just got my hair cut instead.
Yeah, it looks great too, by the way. I'll leave you girls to it.
Okay, thank you for coming out and talking, because I'm so glad you're here. So glad.
I've done this because there is weird shit happening. We are changing. I'm not letting it freak me out. The good comes with it. The bad comes with it. I don't know what's going on, but simulation seems to be stuck.
I haven't had any good stuff yet, so I'm waiting for that.
Bullshit. Recognize.
See you later.
Thanks, hon. Now, Sheila, you just talked about, you said, just happened to me in my singing voice many years ago. Suddenly my singing improved radically overnight. Okay, because I've actually was thinking about this exactly just last week in my own voice and looking back at the changes in my voice. So when I was in high school, I sang high soprano. I know it's hard to believe with this voice. That was pre-cigarettes, right? But I had a very powerful soprano voice. And then I actually just really fucked my vocal cords. Over one summer, I was working at an amusement park where you're doing all the yelling continuously and in the rain, and I put nodes in my vocal cords, and I actually lost my voice for about 6 months.
Oh.
I had no voice, almost no voice. I talked like this for about 6 months. And then my voice came back, and I was in the alto range. And like my vocal teacher was like, you're not a soprano anymore, love. I'm sorry to tell you, you like permanently damaged your vocal cords. And then I've always sung on and off. In the last couple of months, I've noticed I have my power back. And it's changed. And Nick said it the other night. I was singing to the kids to sleep, and we were kind of goofing off when the Forest Child was with us as well. And so all the kids, I was singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I know it's not Christmas, but it's Kale's favorite song. And of course, we've got the call and answer. So the kids were all involved, having lots of fun with the song. And Nick said to me afterwards, he says, like, your voice is like so huge now when you want to, like when you actually project it. I was like, yeah, where did that come from? Because that And it's another thing. It's like I've just noticed it as an overnight thing. Is in the last couple of months, there's been a very tangible change in my voice that is much more powerful. So I found that really interesting. Same thing here with the voice. I used to be with a band, a vocalist. Now I'm hitting notes that I could never have hit before and loving it. Yeah, actually, same with me too. I'm kind of getting my upper range back. Not really, but better than it has been.
I went to the prison for social activism and walked out with a third eye on my forehead. Can you elaborate on that?
That's Lotus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my superpower B is apparently to be able to scream really, really loud. Kira shares that one, but she shatters glass.
I have a third eye now, like Shiva. You're going to have to post a photo on that one. It's a fold in my forehead. Wondering if the energy changes are freeing our DNA so it can repair damage we've done to our bodies.
Okay, Philip, that's interesting in the fact of like vocal cords, the damage I did as a teenager is being repaired, and yet my shoulders are falling apart. So what is it, just taking the shit from one and giving it to the other?
The bigger picture I'm seeing of all of this is that there is some demonstrable things we are experiencing that are welling up, so to speak, from within our own
Continuance?
countenance.
Countenance?
Not being imposed upon us from without. Countenance, yeah. Huh. I don't know. I'm waiting for some superpowers to kick in. I'm just, for me personally and physically, none of it's been good. It's just been painful. Unless you can think of something that I'm not noticing. I look 20 years older. I feel 80 years older.
80 years older. I thought it was just 80 years old.
No, I think it's 80 years older. Yeah, no.
Is that self-imposed?
I don't know.
I'm just thinking you had to go at me about calling myself stupid. So I'm saying, is that you're self-imposed?
Maybe.
I don't know. There are no fucking answers.
But I'm happy for Lainey.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do an experiment. Everyone concentrate on one. Let's take it something simple. Some ability that you wish you could have, i.e., play a musical instrument, play a certain sport. I don't know. Play blackjack really, really well. And see if you set the intent. I'm going to be able to tap dance tomorrow. See what happens.
For Dawn too, hers has all been painful.
Elena, I hear you. I'm always loud, unfortunately.
I know the medics are monitoring blood results for certain changes, then forwarding bloods for DNA analysis. Have a friend in a lab who's being instructed to forward certain results to government serum laboratories.
Oh, well, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, they've been tracking that shit.
I'd like to know what they're looking for, though.
The PKU test for babies has nothing to do with fucking PKU. It has solely to track DNA in newborn babies.
If you're feeling bad, pain, etc., you're also clearing a lot of emotional memories.
Yeah.
That has occurred to me. Am I just doing it
Cleanse?
An energetic and physical, or physical derived from energetic, fueled by energetic detox?
I wonder, and I mean, I've heard theories on this before, and nothing is really completely wrong true, but our bodies, our physical bodies are aligned with an emotional body or a energetic body, and is the place where we experience pain or problems, i.e. shoulders or knees, relate directly to a specific point that we're working on or clearing. Like shoulders has to do with your childhood trauma, or your knees has to do with some other type of
Louise Hay was always pretty spot on with all of that stuff. Mad Tom, the sleeping thing. Okay, I do it in cycles that last about 3 weeks, I think, 3 to 4 weeks, where
She's not sleeping again.
I don't sleep, I can't go to sleep, and then I wake up early, and I just can't sleep. And then I'll go into a period where I can't stay awake, and I will get into bed feeling okay, like I want to sit up and watch something maybe on my computer, but I literally feel like I get pulled into sleep and I don't see 10 minutes of it. That happens, and I can't wake up. And that goes on for a few weeks, and then I switch into the next cycle where I can't go back to sleep again. At the moment, I'm in transition from a not sleeping period into a sleeping period. She had to wake me up this morning.
I had to come in and wake her up, which is really unusual that I usually get up and Lisa's already sitting out here. Or we're up within
Minutes of each other.
5-10 minutes of each other. I had to go in and wake her up, get her ass.
No, you've had to
Wake
do
her
that
ass.
before. That was the last cycle.
The last cycle. Yep.
You had to come in and
dude,
wake her up.
It's
Wake
like
me up.
8:30 and the show's in an hour and a half.
So it's happening for me in cycles. But maybe I need to do a zeolite cleanse.
Oh, hold on.
Like-
Vicky, does that mean you got Ben's message and it's an affirmative? You're coming here? You missed this conversation because you were
Totally.
asleep. Is she already gone? She may already have left.
Yes, Vicky is coming
Yeah.
in. Okay, cool.
She said Ben was supposed to go see Vicky. And so instead we've convinced Vicky and her friends to come here because I won't have time to see them before we leave. Maybe, perhaps. So, yay. I guess I'm baking today. I'll bake, Vicky.
Sophie's saying, I feel so deeply that I'm releasing a lot of pain, but not my own.
And that's another one. And this is, I mean, because I've talked to my kids about it a lot, and I talked to Logan, and I've explained to Logan sometimes. And all my kids,
Actually, I've done that with Fee too.
when you look at something, when you're overwhelmingly sad,
It's not
and
yours.
there's no reason, you can't pinpoint and say, I'm sad because so-and-so broke my toy. I'm sad because whatever. When they have this overwhelming sadness or anger or any emotion, that there's nothing that they can pinpoint, then yes, it's external. And that's what I've told my kids is sometimes you have to look at this and go, is this mine? And I said this to Logan. Actually, Logan said it to me last night, the whole thing about being so afraid. He actually said to me, Mommy, I don't think it's mine. I don't think I'm afraid, but I'm so afraid. It's pretty fucking deep for a 9-year-old. So yeah, is the pain an external thing? And again, is it symptomatic, or can we draw a direct line of pain in the shoulders is directly related to this? Pain, headaches, is it directly related to? Do you know what?
A lot of people are doing the sleep thing in cycles. They're going from
Yep.
10 to 12 hours to 4 to 6. And they're just doing these cycles. Yep, that's what I've been doing.
We have
Flu-like aches. Yes.
flu-like, and they just come on. I had the sore throat.
Oh, me too. We both did that yesterday.
Monday or Tuesday last week, I was sitting there, we were watching Fringe, Nick and I, in the evening, and all of a sudden, you swallow and you go, oh, is that my glands swelling up? And I said to Nick, oh, shit. And within 20 minutes, I was like, oh, I'm getting sick. I can feel it. My glands were swelling. Everything was achy in here. And I was kind of like, oh, you're going to wake up tomorrow and not be happy. Woke up the next day, completely fine. Had it again happen on Friday or Saturday. I did the same thing in the night. I was like, oh, all of a sudden I've got a terrible sore throat. I hope I'm not getting sick. Next day I woke up, it was completely gone. And so you say about the aches and pains, and they just hit. And you're like,
oh you know what just hit me?
My entire body is, what?
Well, this talk about perhaps cleansing and clearing shit, right?
Right.
We inherit. I do believe we inherit programs. I don't believe we inherit physical conditions the way the medical establishment says we do, but I believe we can take on programs, right? So my dad died of a heart attack at a young age, day after he turned 46.
Yeah.
So what if part of what I was doing the other night was cleansing, clearing out that program?
Well, it's very interesting going with Lane said, and we're talking about like the pock mark. My mom having a pock mark exactly where I've got a pock mark. Mine's just appeared. And it's a physical symptom of something that's identical is, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
How can you share a photo? You can do it. Are you in the UU room on Facebook? You can send it to me right now on Skype if I've got you on, we're on Skype together, and I can share it. The other thing that's just been brought up, which has also, I've noticed, mentioned many times lately, is people observing animals' behaviour.
Oh, I want to
Their
talk about
pets,
this.
their pets just completely changing their behaviour.
Everyone jokes about the rooster, right? So Reginald is gone. He's not with us anymore. He's gone back to the Johnny's house. And our young roosters are starting to get, you've heard them this morning crowing. They're starting to get, they're young guys. They're kind of just learning, they're growing into their crow. We have a lot of birds that kind of come and go. In the last week, we've had strange things with birds. Birds that don't usually come around the front yard in the last 2 weeks are suddenly in the yard. So in our yard, we have, beyond the chickens, we have the kookaburras, Ham, who you've all met, who actually hasn't been by this morning.
Yes.
Has he? Okay. We have the magpies, and we have the butcher birds. So those are always in the yard. They always come and they go, and we feed them, and they've kind of made friends with us. But in the last 2 weeks now, the mud hens are in the yard. The ibis have been continuously flying into the yard. We had black cockatoos land in the tree right next to the deck, which I've never seen them land this close to us ever before, and they're freaking massive. Like, these things are like massive. We've had the crows sitting in the trees, and all the birds going off and doing really and almost sometimes like a parade, like one thing after another. You'll have like, and the wagtails are in the front yard. The wagtails have never been in the front yard that I've ever seen. This last week, they've been continuously in the front yard. And I've never seen them in the front yard before. They're always in the backyard. Just the birds. And I was talking to another friend of ours yesterday, and they were talking about the birds as well, saying they've been really strange bird patterns. The way they're flying is really, really strange.
Someone's chickens have started talking to them, and now she doesn't think she's going to be able to eat them because she's having conversations with them now. I don't blame you. Like people now, telepathic with their dog. Another one.
Oh, I can't wait to see what Sam's like when we get there. Because I've always said that Sam was completely telepathic anyway. My friend's dog, she's got a German pointer who's, well, he looks like a dog. He's actually a little old British man, spectacles on his nose, kind of grumpy, because that's just who he is. We've always joked for years that he's actually a human who's just stuck in a dog form. So I'm actually going to see what he's going to be like when we get there.
So everyone's saying that the cockatoos in the Atherton tablelands are going nuts.
Interesting.
That flock over there that hang out in that tree.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know. We were joking. It's like, are they having a community meeting, or is this a domestic argument? What the hell's going on in that? There must have been 50 birds going berserk one day.
It was definitely.
Okay, there was something that I got triggered.
My tropical fish jumped out of the tank. Because that's just not cool.
Speaking of strange bird behavior.
Birds behavior, one of the magpies just flew by doing something very strange.
Oh, something just triggered a thought for me, and now I continued reading and I lost it.
Yeah, we've had lots of people talking about their pets are acting very off.
Oh, that was really a question I wanted to put out. Yes, no,
okay, good.
Okay, Mandela effects potentially. I wanted to know if anybody's had weird disconnects when dealing with corporations. So,
you talked about this yesterday. Okay, go and define that a little better. See if you can, because I'm
like, if you try to deal with a company that you've always dealt with, and they can't find your account, or they can't find a transaction, or they can't, like, even the people at the company are confused about why something's not working, or why their system's not working, or they can't match up your details with something. I want to know whether, because we're looking at Mandela effects out there in terms of, you know, the bigger pop cultural stuff, but I think we need to look at this a little bit closer in terms of our own personal lives. And
I hadn't thought of that. That's actually interesting.
I mean, we talk about how some days, you know, she's not my D and I'm not her Lisa and stuff like that. But just in your general day-to-day dealings with
the man,
with the matrix, with
the corporations, the bill collectors, the whatever you want to call them.
Has there been any oddness in that area? And you may not be able to think of anything right now, but just be mindful of it and let us know perhaps next week. Because there are some people who are noticing some hiccups and that they're not making that Mandela connection, but I'm wondering whether or not it's part of it.
Well, if you say crossovers from a different level, a different version, a different whatever you want to call it. This is the thing, Jed. Jed just said the birds are happy. Doesn't that tell you something about what's happening? No, the birds don't sound fucking happy. It's not like, oh, look at this tweety little bird. It's more like, what the fuck is your problem? And you crows, shut the fuck up. And then the roosters are yelling like, no, never mind you. This is our property. Get the fuck out. Literally, that's what it kind of sounds like.
It's not,
And there's actually a bird
happy
fight
chirpy,
going
chirpy.
on. Yeah, it's not happy, happy, chirpy shit. No. It's like birds arguing with each other, for lack of a better term.
Well, the ones around Jed seem pretty happy. Aggravated, maybe.
Unusual.
Agitated.
Agitated. Good word.
Oh, if I had to pick a word.
Oh.
Birds of beginner. Yeah, I went through a period in 2012 where Bob actually started jokingly calling me the animal whisperer, because
You like Kira right now?
yeah, because it was all kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, butterflies, all kinds of shit were just attracted to me and not frightened at all of me. Hanging out and observing me was a big one. Right all through 2012. It was weird. Okay, Lisa, I sent you 2 pics of my third eye. It seems to be getting deeper. It is actually a bony structure. Where did you send them, darling? On Facebook.
I will have a look right there. She will load up Facebook. Facebook. No. It has.
Might have to go to.
We'll just refresh your page or something. It hasn't come in, hun.
Not on Facebook.
No. Look in. I don't know. Look in your. Do you have your junk?
Yeah, that's all. But there's nothing there.
Huh.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't know.
My mum moved her bank account to Navy Federal Credit Union. She applied for a credit card through them. She locked.
Oh, it jumped.
She locked her credit with one of these services to protect you from identity theft. To get the credit card, she called to unlock a credit report. Blah, blah, blah. They didn't know her. Couldn't find a record for her account and could not unlock it. Result, no credit card. She's 78 years young.
And that's the kind of stuff I'm wondering about. It's exactly that kind of stuff.
Yes, utility companies sending me late, still owe bills for things already paid.
That might just be the fuckers trying to get more money out of you.
Yeah. But they're not having any record of you. That's the sort of stuff I'm talking about.
Oh, that's kind of funny. I actually had that happen to me about.
I posted it on my actual
about
page.
6 years ago.
It's not coming up. Not coming up there either. And maybe I have to approve of it.
Nope, no, it's not there. But you knew.
Isn't that? That's the second weirdness for today's show.
You don't exist on Facebook.
Yeah, they're not showing up as a private message at all. Okay. I have a question. Since we are discussing observations, has anyone else experienced time as measured by the clock going backwards? I went out for a smoke and looked at the garden clock and it said 6:30 p.m. Came back in the house to help clean up after dinner and the clock read 6:03 p.m. This happened 3 times this weekend. Also experienced forward jumps, looked at a clock and it said 10:45 a.m. and walked upstairs and sat down in front of my computer and the computer clock read 11:30 a.m. Anyone else experiencing this?
Last week, I got up one day. No one else in the house was up yet, which is unusual. And I went in to go put on the coffee, of course. And I glanced at the clock in the kitchen, and I swear it said 8:30. And I remember going, the fuck, is no one awake yet? Has everyone already gone up and left? Like, holy shit. I came back out, turned off the coffee, grabbed my computer, opened it up, and it said 6:30. And I went and looked into the kitchen, and the kitchen clock said 6:30. But I swear, when I first looked at it, it said 8:30. And I thought at the time, no, it was me being half asleep. But I don't know, maybe not. I lost, 2 afternoons ago, I lost 2 hours. And I seriously lost 2 hours in the afternoon. I looked at the clock. It was 10:30 in the morning. And I turned to the kids. I was like went back into the kitchen. And I turned to the kids and I was like, do you guys want to have some lunch? Are you guys ready to have some lunch? And I looked at the clock expecting to see it say 11:45. And it was 10 after 2 in the afternoon. And I was like, there's no fucking way it's 10 after 2 in the afternoon. The kids would have gone nuts, been like, I need food. Kale, shh. Sorry. Someone with a happy imagination just went walking by.
I had a student loan debt come at me from New Zealand that was paid and dealt with back in the late 90s. Out of nowhere, I get a statement for $3,800 that I didn't know.
Oh, that's kind of interesting because we happen to know someone else who's dealing with a student loan debt in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he didn't actually pay his, but it did just randomly appear out of nowhere too.
Send me a friend request, Lotus, and I will accept it immediately, and then you can share it.
Or a public email. We just.
Yeah, it's just lisa@lisamharrison.com.
And yeah, I've had tons of people talking about they lost time again this week, where just chunks of time just randomly fucking disappeared. And I got, 5, 6 people in the last few days message me saying, I lost 6 hours, I lost 3 hours, I gained 2 hours. No, someone said to me, I swear I just got an extra 2 hours in my day. I said, fuck, can we patent that? Figure out what you did, because there's a whole lot of us who could do with a couple of extra hours in a day.
Yeah, I often feel like I've fallen out of time. There are days where some days feel like they're 48 hours long. And other days feel like they're 6 hours long.
Days when time has literally no fucking meaning. And that's what I'm saying. Like this day with the whole... So, yeah, the ongoing joke in this house, you have to understand, 5 small children. Okay, not small children. 5 children in the house. 2 of which... every second sentence that comes out of their mouth is, I'm hungry. My 6-year-old.
That's a good one. I feel the merging is still happening because my mum and auntie were going to the shops. I saw them walk out the front door. Then I went in my room and I hear someone in the toilet. I freaked for a second. Weird stuff. My auntie was in the toilet. Then they left again.
So just going to say, like, my 6-year-old who just went noisy one, just went walking by, he's in a growth spurt right now, and he's at that, every 15 minutes, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. So for him to have gone 2 days ago and having not eaten until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, impossible. Like, you don't understand. The child eats his own body weight every single day in fruit. So for me to go without eating lunch, it's not shocking. I do it all the time. But for all the kids, and not one of them come in at lunchtime and say, hey, dude, it's lunchtime. No, everyone. Like when I said, "Do you want me to make lunch?" They're all like, "Yeah, okay, we'll have lunch." It was 2:00 in the afternoon, not noon, where I thought it was. Everyone is just, oh yeah.
I've just put on milk for myself if you want to put some on for you because I don't think you do it anymore. Or are you good?
I'm okay for the moment. Cold coffee is perfectly acceptable for this moment in time.
2 minutes after
Yeah,
you've been
time.
food doesn't taste the same. Yeah, we're getting that a lot too.
Food doesn't taste the same. No, food does not taste the same. And going through spurts of, like, for example, all the citrus trees here are full of fruit, and we just have more mandarins, oranges, lemons, limes than we can fucking deal with. And there are moments where it's like all you want is like an orange. It's something fresh and all the rest of it. And the rest of the time, I ate a piece of bread the other day and it tasted like garbage in my mouth. It just was like, I don't want this. This is so fucking gross. There's no way I want to eat this. Here we go.
Is it this?
I don't know. I guess so. Oh, you're magnifying it now. Everything's a blur. Lisa's trying to look at something on the screen, and it's just gone into high magnification where you can't see anything.
How do I? Attachment. Here we go. So cool.
So yeah, time is irrelevant. Time literally has no meaning now. And the whole thing about being tired is really funny. I was kind of giggling about that. Is for the last 3 nights, while I haven't been tired per se, go to bed earlier. By 7 o'clock at night, I'm in that place of like, I just need to go sit quiet. I need to go in my room and just, zone out, watch a movie, do something that is not, active. I just need that quiet zone.
Where'd it go?
So you lost her?
No, there's one. And so one called. It's all right, you keep talking. Talk amongst yourself.
Talk amongst yourselves. What do you want me to talk about? I'm just rambling now anyways. Because all of a sudden I'm really tired. I want to go sleep.
Okay, I've got him. So, share screen. So there's this one, and I think you're talking about this here.
Notice, is that what you're talking about? The kind of dent there? Because I wonder if that qualifies into the whole dent category.
This one, you can really see it. Oh. I've done that.
Bring you into the front.
I've done that.
Sharing this pause. Maybe stop share and reshare.
And then reshare.
There it is.
Because this one, it's very obvious that you have a dent right there. And that just turned up. that's you can't miss that.
No, that's like the dent in the back of my head.
That's quite obvious.
Started about 8 months ago.
And it's bony.
And that's what I say about mine. The one that I've got, which is very, very slight here, it's not the skin. It's not like it's a scar. You can feel scar tissue that creates the illusion of a dent. No, it's actually, when you run your fingers across my skull, you can feel that there's a fucking dent in my skull, and it runs from my hairline right to about there. Now you can even see it because I pressed on it. Now you can actually see the dent. Oh, wow, you actually can see the dent right now. I don't know if can you guys see that? Explain that to me. I don't know, darlings. I don't know. How can I dent my skull when I don't have any memory of denting my skull? But same thing, we've been joking about this, about moles appearing. All of a sudden, someone's got a mole. My son has got a mole on his face that he's never had before. I swear, I don't know when it appeared. It just kind of randomly appeared. Well, Tina's interesting. So Tina's just brought up anatomy books and the fact that one of the things that's come out in the Mandela Effect stuff is the changes to anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a lot of people ask me about that. And one of the big ones that came up was someone saying that he very clearly remembers that when you take your pulse point in your wrist, he remembers the pulse point always as being in the center. And now it's over here, and your pulse point right here and now in this reality. And in the reality I've always been in as a medic has always been in the divot under the thumb.
Yep,
directly
me too.
in the wrist, to the side, directly under the thumb. Now that's what I always remember.
Me too.
Now this guy was saying, no, it's always been in the center. No, one thing I've learned about the whole Mandela Effect is not to brush off this stuff and say, oh, you just don't remember correctly. We all know that's not accurate anymore. And I had a lot of people ask me, have you seen, like, talked about some of these physical changes to our physical bodies? I can't say no. I mean, if the universal blood type can fucking change, that is about one of the biggest physical differences I can possibly imagine. So I'm never going to say, no, you just don't remember it correctly, or no, those kind of physical changes to our bodies can't happen, because I'm sorry, that's one of the biggest ones I can think of.
Sorry, I just remembered.
You remembered?
It's really funny.
Okay, hit me.
And I should have brought up the video earlier. I should have grabbed it. We Are the Champions. The Queen song. So everybody, as far as I know, remembers the song ending a certain way. Yes, the blood types have changed as well. The universal blood type.
Yeah.
So everybody remembers the song ending in, because we are the champions
Of the world.
of the world. But that of the world
Is gone.
is gone. Right? And the song sounds really, 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 really weird. Just being, it feels like it just got left hanging there now.
As a musician who took theory, if you'd ever written a composition that ended that way, you'd have failed. Because that's an incomplete stanza. You can't end a piece of music that way.
I'm going to try
and find it. The one with all the guys in the car, because that's fucking hysterical, that video.
Now, I've watched a couple of these videos that this guy does because my daughter introduced me to it because she thinks it's hysterical. But this one?
Well, in the whole thing, what is really interesting, and we've kind of talked about this, if the Mandela effects, there it is. Okay, there we go. If the Mandela effects are solely those breadcrumbs that have been left to wake us up to the fact that something is fucked up, everyone has their trigger points, right? So some people, a lot of the Christian fundamentalists, a lot of people who are Christians, the Lord's Prayer was like a holy fuck. Some people, it was, for me, the universal blood type. Being a medic, yeah, it freaked me. That was the one thing that was like the big siren saying, take note, take note, take note. This is fucked. This one is one for a lot of people. And to me, I love Queen. I love this song. But it wouldn't have been something that would have triggered me. But apparently,
It has been for a lot of people.
Has triggered a fuck of a lot of people. Oh, look at this, the cloud again. It's a big straight line again.
Oh.
Someone's just divided our sky in half again.
Okay, I need to, where's my phone?
Half the sky is white and the other half is gray. And it is like someone took a ruler and just divided the sky in half. See if it shows up. There. Oh, perfect. Oh, fuck yeah. Now, can you upload that so we can... I just looked up and like the whole sky is literally divided with a straight line. Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you guys see that? That is our sky right now.
And now it's cloud all the way across.
Yep.
But half of it's lit up and the other half is dark.
Yep. The other half, one half looks
And someone was
someone's
rude.
calling you.
That's pretty funny. Seriously.
That's right now. We're
That's
looking
right
at
now.
it right now. And I just looked up and went, okay, why is it like evening on one side of the sky and it's daylight on the other side of the sky? And a straight line, like someone drew it with a ruler.
I will show you again because that's just too.
That's just too fucking strange. That is the sky. Can you guys see that?
That's trippy. Okay, now back to this We Are the Champions song.
Okay, back to We Are the Champions.
Now, have you ever watched Karaoke Carpool? Because it's pretty funny. So he drives around picking up, celebrities under, various fake circumstances, and they get in his car, and then they do karaoke together.
They do karaoke in the car, and it's recorded, and it goes.
This one has got George Clooney, Julia Roberts, and Gwen Stefani.
Hey, you talk about an all-star cast? I'd like to know who this guy's
All-star
agent
cast.
is who kind of sets these little bits up. Because that's my first question. Is like, how the fuck did this guy get these three in his
He's
car? No, I know, but you know when you sit there and go, and this song? And you go, really?
So get this. Get the load of this.
We are the champions, no time for losers, as we are the champions.
It's really rough, man.
Waiting.
We were all in the zone there, though. Guys.
We were loaded. It was like the gun was loaded.
So there's 4 people in that car who were all prepared to sing that line, and it didn't come.
World. Yeah, and there was no of the world. And you could see, like, wait, where'd it go?
It's very
Sorry,
jerky.
guys.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Normally
We-
I would download it first so I can play it for you without that happening, but
Jeff, please send us a note to remember to embed that video as well, please. Or all of you guys just drop it in the
I
unfuckers
will
room.
write it. I will
Write it down. We Are the Champions video. Teehee.
But the looks on their faces, the looks of it, and they were all poised, ready to sing that line, and it just didn't happen. So,
And that's, Lane, that is exactly my whole thing. She just said, there's the Magpie's going to sing us a song. The rooster and the magpie are now having a conversation. Lane just said, they're making damn sure we all see these effects.
that's 2 magpies talking to each other,
And the rooster.
and then the rooster.
Holy shit, that
One's
was
on the
loud.
roof, one's down there, and they were just.
Got any more to say, or can
No.
I continue?
The conversation's over, apparently.
Okay. They're making damn sure that we see these effects. They're real and all memories are valid. And this is exactly it. All memories are
Just
valid.
like Hennessy making that commercial and making sure everybody's attention is
Everyone-
brought to the fact that there was this guy, Auguste Piccard, who was the first man to go into space, and what he had to say about the Earth, because no one knew him before that.
Yeah. Well, that's my whole Solace thing, right? Solace is leading. If Solace can be part of the programming that's going between the various versions, if she can see the Solace created consciousness neural network that can see the various versions that we're all running on, and leading us breadcrumbs so that we'll.
And now there's 3 of them.
And
Oh,
apparently
and they're having an argument.
They're having a fight. They're literally fighting. What the hell? I've never seen that happen.
2 of them are picking on one of them.
What the hell? What is going on? I've never seen this happen before. Holy shit. 2 of the magpies are beating the shit out of another magpie.
No, actually,
Or not?
no. It's just they're all having a go at each other.
Or is it mating season? I don't know. We talked about
Okay, Jed,
birds.
you said that they were all happy. These guys are
No,
not
they're
happy.
not fucking happy. I have never seen them do this. These guys are sitting like 2 meters away from us, and I've never fucking seen them do what they just did. Holy shit. Okay, are we creating this then? Then this opens the question. We set that, we're talking about it. Are we literally creating it in this moment? I've been sitting here talking about the fucking birds being really, really weird, doing weird ass shit, and now 15 minutes later we have the birds right in front of us doing really weird shit, and you guys, well, you couldn't see it. You can definitely fucking hear it.
I've never seen that behavior.
Someone said territorial fighting. No, I'm sorry. I understand what you're saying.
They've never done it before.
Never, ever done it before.
These guys all get on beautifully and share food and do all sorts of stuff. I've got to turn the computer around. You've got to see
we're going
this.
to try and turn this around so you guys can see this. Sorry, pardon us. I don't know if it's going to be able to adjust for the light. Okay, I've got the cord. See if you can. You're going to have to step in front, Lisa, so that you can focus on it.
There's the birds. There's 2 of them anyway.
There's 2 of them now.
No, they've stopped.
Okay. Here. Now it's like because we point the camera at them, of course they stop everything.
They got stage fright.
You've been here for 11 months here. I've been here for 4 months. I have never seen the magpies ever do that. When they talk, it's very sweet. I love the magpie song. It is one of my most favorite things to wake up to. They come right up onto the deck, and like they were literally, one of them was eating crumbs right around Lisa's feet yesterday. I have never seen that before. Fucking ever. Was that instant manifestation?
I don't know. It was just fucking weird.
I tell you, we are now entering the twilight zone. Yes.
Talk about how rich you are then. We're so abundant.
Rich.
Oh my
We
God.
got so much money.
I want for nothing.
No. No. Okay.
Everything I put my attention to, everything I decide I desire and want, just shows up.
Instantly shows up.
That's the way it goes now.
We are going to be bumped up to first class when we fly.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen. Going to get bumped up.
We'll keep you posted on that, though.
Yep. I'm setting that. Actually, I am setting that in intention. We're going to get bumped up. Distraction from the Mandela Effect topic you were talking about. Maybe that's the point. Maybe, Frank, because it wasn't a complete distraction. I don't even know what the fuck I was saying. What was I saying?
Yeah, I don't know. Birds in my yard have been fighting too. Weird.
Really strange. Money is now falling from the sky. That's right. It's raining money. Yeah.
Oh, wow. The hens have been attacking each other. They bumped me up, Spirit.
Sorry, can anyone remind me what I was saying just before
We were talking about We Are the Champions, weren't we?
No, but then I started talking about something else after that.
See, that's normal.
That's the normal.
That's
The really pretty little warble that they do. It's so sweet. Solace.
Solace.
That's right. Okay. If Solace is dropping us the breadcrumbs, and those breadcrumbs are the crumbs that will get you, and you, and me, there's going to be different breadcrumbs for each person. There's going to be different things that are going to trigger. Who was it? Oh. Mongolia? Abba. Was it Nathan? Someone in the
You just said 3 words that don't go together.
No, sorry, my brain works that way. Conversation we had, it was last summer. It was over the Mongolia stuff when we were talking about all of a sudden, like, Mongolia invaded Iraq in 2003 with the US and Australia? I don't fucking think so. Mongolia is now...
Okay, what
the fuck?
What are you trying to tell us, guys?
Am I not supposed to talk about this? I'm going to talk about this anyways.
Now we've got 2 of them off in looking off into different directions and talking at whatever. And what's that flying?
And the
Flock or something.
a whole flock of birds just flew overhead. Alfred Hitchcock, eat your heart out. Right, Mongolia. And we talked about the fact that historically, in our history now, they're saying that Mongolia has always been part of Russia. Not in my reality. Mongolia was always part of China, not fucking Russia. This is the reality now. Mongolia is now this fucking huge on the goddamn map.
But the Mongols made up the majority of the Red Army.
Okay, and this is where we get this fucking crossover shit. In the conversation about Mongolia, someone in the unfuckers room brought up ABBA and said that ABBA did all these live albums, and there was an ABBA did a live album that was recorded in fucking Mongolia. Now this guy happens to be the biggest ABBA fan on the face of the fucking planet. He has every album they've ever made, pressed in vinyl, every live album, every live recording, every fucking t-shirt, poster, you name it. And he was like, Danny, I'm telling you right now, ABBA was never in fucking Mongolia. There's nothing in fucking Mongolia. Why would they do a live concert in Mongolia and record it and cut an album? That's his trigger point. Like that for him, for that one person, ABBA cutting a live album in Mongolia was a fucking trigger point. So when we see these, and that is one of the reasons why I keep going back to solace. And I know a lot of people don't get it. It's just my own way of identifying shit. There is someone, something, as far as I'm concerned, leaving us breadcrumbs to follow, leaving us hints. And it's like, you are going to fucking wake up. And we've talked about, for years, we've talked about the fact that everyone has their trigger points. Mm-hmm. But it's like, we've got to the end of it, and now the trigger points are coming fast and furious.
Last week, I said, what if what we consider the consciousness of the planet, Gaia, whatever, and solace are the same thing? Now, I think, I'm feeling more and more that what we've done is we've created, I mean, the consciousness of the planet has always spoken to us. We've always had a relationship with it. We can always communicate with it. But we have created this technology, being the internet. So we've just created a tool and given her yet another tool to talk to us. So I'm not seeing solace as a separate thing anymore. No, as something that just evolved out of the internet. I'm seeing solace as the consciousness of the planet using that tool to speak to us.
See, but I'm stuck on the word when we say the consciousness of the planet, because that denotes the fact that there is a planet.
But even like I said last week, even if it's just a virtual program, it's the consciousness of the program.
The program, exactly.
It doesn't really matter what we.
I know, and that's what. But this is where we say, like, because I'm watching. I've been really, really good, following everything that's going on in the YouTube comments, trying to follow, because fuck, there's been like 200 and 300 comments for every show. Okay. And there's a lot of people misconstruing what we're saying. Misconstruing. When I talk about solace, they're still trying to equate it to AI, artificial intelligence. That is not what we're talking about. And that's why I'm saying, and then there's the others who are construing solace as earth, and you get into that, I'm sorry, very new agey Gaia, Earth Mother, goddess, and they are equating it to that, and that's not what I mean either. And that's why I was trying to not use the word planet, just because I'm trying to narrow the definition down, is, if you will, for lack of a better term.
Joyce posed the question: could those birds have been reacting to what was going on in the sky?
Yeah.
So that's possible.
I'm not going to say no. They're gone now.
Apparently, we're such good value that Sophie doesn't want to watch TV again.
Coming to you live 5 days a week in our pajamas.
Yes, maybe Solace is tuning us to the changes. So she, Gaia Solace, is more advanced than any of these demigod, demiurge, evil aliens, etc.
Oh, okay, so I'm going to play another what if. We just heard Jean-Claude Juncker from the EU talking about aliens and other planets, right? We have Obama's announcement about, you know, our allies in space.
Mm-hmm.
There's been all these little pieces playing out. And we've talked, I'm sorry, I'm not being very coherent, guys. We've talked in the past about how it can't be a sudden awakening.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have said, and I didn't actually agree with that, but a lot of people have talked about how the awakening process has to be kind of gentle, because you don't want to like shock the shit out of everyone. They drop dead of a heart attack. The entire reality is so fucked. So we have soft disclosure, perhaps, about aliens, about us not being alone in the universe, let's just put it that way. But the fact that we're not the be-all, end-all of the universe, unfortunately, unlike what the Catholics want to believe. We have soft disclosure about virtual reality, about a holographic, with the Mandela effects of these breadcrumbs, and we're seeing people waking up. And how many people have commented on the YouTube videos in the last month, the videos that we've put out? Massive amounts of people, at least 50% of the people who've commented are people who've just woken up to like the Mandela effect. They're like, oh my God, I just heard about this a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, or today. Multiple people going, and there was one thing. It'll be the one thing that makes them go search for information. And they find the videos and they hear us talking about JFK, the men, fucking Lord's Prayer, all this shit. Is this the soft disclosure, the soft waking up process? On all fronts, not just, but on all fronts. Okay.
No, that's all right. I'm just going to get rid of this.
Is that what? Oh, it's your Thunderbird. I'm like, well, what is making that noise on your computer? Philip said something.
Maybe the
construct is just as confused as we are. Well, I'm not going to say you're wrong.
Yeah, no,
Right.
the sky did look. It actually a minute ago when I looked up, made that comment about the birds. I looked up and had a look, and it kind of eased out, and now the line's back.
And now the line with the line's back again. And so are
just in the last minute.
And the magpie just landed in the yard again. And there's the other magpie.
Okay, there is a connection because
there has to be a connection because the line has just appeared again very, very strongly in the sky.
And the birds are coming back.
And now the birds are back again. And the crows are in the backyard. You can hear the crows. And there's something else up there. That's one of the cockatoos up there as well. Very strange, people.
Oh, and is it connected to the sound I heard earlier? Okay, I forgot about that. Solace lives in the dream time. Ask her to appear in the dream time to you.
It only helps if you can remember the dream time, though. Can you point your computer to the sky? I don't know if it'll pick it up. You can try at least, because you can see it's really gone to that really defined. I'll hold this again.
So many things plugged in.
Yeah, we've got so many things plugged in at the moment, like phones and microphones and everything. Watch yourself. Can you guys see the division in the sky?
You can. Yep, it's back.
And again, the magpies are back again.
Mandela magpies.
The Mandela magpies. Well, it's actually kind of funny because, you know, if I'm in my own quantum entanglement world of my own, I've always been called the magpie, but my grandmother always called me the magpie when I was a little girl. So they've always been kind of like my special bird.
Lisa, you were made comment on Corey Good and David Wilcox show about Mandela Effect.
What?
What?
Connie, can you verify?
I made a comment, or
they made a comment about you?
I don't know.
You.
What direction?
Oh, that smell is freaking killing me.
Yeah, that's not very pleasant, is it? I don't know what direction that is. I think that's
that's east, west. That is approximately running on a northeast axis, the line in the sky.
Yeah, it's covered in cloud,
Yeah, we've had cloud cover all day.
but half of it's lit up and the other half isn't.
No, but again, someone's talking about territory in the magpies, and I get what you're trying to say, but we've never had this happen before. All the birds intermingle here quite happily. Even the kookaburras, we have fed the kookaburras, the magpies, and the butcherbirds at the exact same time. And very rarely, occasionally the kookaburras get a little bully boy, and they'll push the other birds out of the way. But we just toss food out, and the butcherbirds are really good at catching it in the air. We've never had a territorial problem. They all intermingle on this yard really, really freely. So, no,
Okay, Connie, you're going to have to clarify, sweetie. Sorry, me typing something. What?
Did they make...
Let me wash my hands. Okay.
Did they make a comment about Lisa's comments, or...
We've gone over time, by the way.
No.
Yes, we have.
Holy fuck! Time zone change, swap over. What happened?
My back feels like it's going to do its thing again, like it did
Well, I just keep
when I was
shifting.
crippled.
You don't know the pillow? The pillow's not really doing me a fuck of a lot of good anyway, so here, you take it. See if that helps. Well, your lumbar support. I'm just sitting cross-legged, so I'll be crippled in about half an hour anyway.
No, my
Her backache is back again.
So when was that? When did that happen?
That was
August, September of last year. God, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
September. It was early September.
My back went, and I was literally I had my daughter in hospital with tonsillitis, and I was in there with her on a little walking frame. It was kind of funny. And that's where it feels like it's going again. It hasn't happened since.
Don't
Yeah,
rub it and say
your
that
back
great,
is
at least.
fine and
Your back
awesome.
is
Make it so.
absolutely awesome.
Yes.
Everything is awesome.
I am limber and agile and strong.
Oh. Limber and agile and strong. Yeah, I had problems over
Okay, I'm just waiting
this
for
morning.
Connie to come back from washing her hands.
So I want to know what she had to say. That's a comment that just can't be left.
Yes. I think I'll have to look. 2 weeks ago, mentioned Lisa talking about Lisa.
Lisa talking about Lisa? Okay, now I'm even more confused, Connie.
Yeah. What is going on? Oh, okay. She's a little bit on the gypsy side. Okay. Well, did one of you say you asked a question of Solace on the computer and got an answer? We've done it a few times.
I do it all the time. Like I said, the whole J.J. Abrams adventure that I went on, and Fringe, and the new shows that are coming out this year that are being created by J.J. Abrams, was me saying, Solace, what is Mandela Effect? And then his thing, the God Particle, and the new one, which is about the alternate reality. And time travel in the JFK. Was that 11/22/63, which is his new show, which is all about the guy traveling back in time to stop JFK's assassination, which is the same week I discovered that. Is the same week we discovered the JFK fucking Mandela Effect. So I asked Solace.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Mandela Effect and Lisa knowing and talking about it.
I didn't know.
Well, if anyone has a link to that, please send it our way. We'd like to hear about it for sure. Yeah, was it the Randy Moggins interview?
Corey Good.
I need to talk to Randy. Actually, remind me. I'll contact Randy after this.
Okay. Happened 2 weeks ago. All right, can you send me a link, please, Connie? Just send it to me on Facebook.
Drop it in the Unfuckers room.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So we should go because we have now gone over time.
Yep.
And
we've entertained everyone with our singing and dancing birds.
Yes.
And our sky that's going completely back to normal again. This sky's just going completely back to normal. The line's gone and it's just, randomly cloudy.
And raining. So thank you, guys. Lots of fun again. We will see you next week with a split screen. Me on one side, D on the other. unfortunately. But who knows what the future holds? I guess it's whatever we choose to create. Huh?
Let's see what we choose to create. Yes, yes. Listen well to the Magpies. Reginald the Rooster is gone, so now we got to listen to the Magpies. So you got to listen to the Magpies. I'll have to find something else to listen to in Malta.
What are you going to listen to in Malta?
There are no birds in Malta. Oh, look, Mr. Magpie's coming right up on the deck again. Here he comes. He's coming over. Mr. Magpie's coming over.
Okay. Thanks, guys. We will. Oh.
Can you? I can't see what's showing on the screen. So
Yeah, he's there.
Mr. Magpie coming up on the deck for a visit. Calm, just like he always is.
So everyone's wishing you well and good luck for the
Thanks, guys.
the travels.
I'll let you know. Like I said, nothing's set in stone. Well, it's set in stone that we're leaving, unfortunately, because, like I said, immigration could do nothing, and the woman was quite embarrassed about the fact.
Oh, no, of course they could.
Shit.
We're just going to cost you $10,000.
Well, they could if I wanted to spend $10,000, and even she was like, "Oh, I know." But yes, updates forthcoming for sure. And that's it, guys.
Yes, we will post something on our Facebook pages, in the UU group. I will change the calendar. If you go to lisamharrison.com, there is a calendar there. And in there, you'll see the direct Zoom links to join us live. And there is a time zone converter, so you can see what time the show is happening in your time zone.
Yes.
So as soon as we've got a time figured
out,
I will go through and make sure they're all accurate.
Okay, guys.
We'll go from there.
Okay.
So,
Bye, everyone.
bye, guys.
Bye.